On today's Rant 101, we're going to be talking about NFTs, cryptocurrency, and Masamune Shirow's vision of the future. Let's go. So, what is an NFT? According to Merriam-Webster, an NFT is a unique digital identifier that cannot be copied, substituted, or subdivided, that is recorded in a blockchain, and that is used to certify authenticity and ownership as of a specific digital asset and specific rights relating to it. But what does that really mean to regular people, right? What's an NFT? What's a non-fungible token? In my opinion, a non-fungible token is any type of media or medium that you can create or purchase online. The only difference between a non-fungible token, say a track of music, and a regular track of music that you would download from one of the streaming services out there like Spotify, the only difference is this time the music is located on the blockchain. And once you purchase it, it is yours forever because it comes with a certificate of authenticity. So that's what an NFT is. That's simply what it is. The reason why I wanted to talk about NFTs today, though, is because for anyone who knows me, I am many things. I am, of course, an otaku. Proud otaku, of course. But I'm also an artist, as well as a writer and an inventor. And I believe that marketplaces like OpenSea gives creators like myself the opportunity to sell our art on our terms. Whereas before, even 5 or 6 years ago, it was unheard of to think about selling a book or a comic book or a manga that you created on a platform where you could get digital currency in form of payment for that work. And then after you get paid, you can then convert that currency, that digital currency, that cryptocurrency, into real life cash. Suffice it to say, most people understand that right now, this is the wild, wild west of this particular type of tech. And I think that's the reason why so many people are heading towards it, just like they did back in the day with the real west of the United States. Because there's gold in them Nar Hills. And if you're not the first one to try to get there, then someone else is going to beat you to it. So what I have decided to do is document what I'm doing with my own work. Everything that I've ever created, everything that I've ever made, everything that I've ever invented will be a non-fungible token. I'm doing this for many reasons, right? But the main one is for freedom. But on top of that, and I think most importantly, is I believe that the things that I create will change the world. And I know that shit sounds corny, I know. But I truly believe that the content that I create will change the world. I honestly believe that my purpose, one of the main reasons I was put on this planet, was to help change the world and shift it into a better direction. And I think being able to do that through this type of marketplace and this type of technology, I think it's going to help me accomplish that goal. So yeah, I am willing to give NFTs a try. Because when I first heard about NFTs about 2 years ago, I was just like, okay. And I had heard about cryptocurrency even before that. And it took me a longer while to get into cryptocurrency. I heard about NFTs around the same time I got into cryptocurrency, which was about 2.5 years ago. And I was suspicious of it, just like how I was of cryptocurrency. Because initially when I heard of crypto, I was like, okay, this stuff looks fake. You know, I thought it was not real. Fast forward 10 years and I have investments in crypto. So, you know, times change, people's minds change, and people's hearts change. And it's the same thing with NFTs. I heard about them about 2 years ago, a little more, and I was suspicious. But then I started to see people like Jay-Z having his own NFT and purchasing some NFTs, and then the thing with Sotheby's where the picture sold, I believe it was, for like $60 something million. And even though I thought it was kind of crazy, it reminded me of Ghost in the Shell. You know what's funny about otakus, about us, is that most of us find ways to draw correlations between the real world and anime or manga. Or one of the biggest influences during my childhood while growing up as a teenager was the manga Ghost in the Shell. Now, I don't want to turn this into a discussion about Ghost in the Shell, but I am a huge fan of that series. And one of the things that Masamune Shirow spoke about in depth in both Ghost in the Shell, the manga, and Ghost in the Shell, the anime, was the possibility of virtual worlds. And I believe that NFTs and Bitcoin and the blockchain and cryptocurrencies in general is our first steps in that direction. We've made steps in that direction before with the internet and things like that. But now with AI and VR, we're going in a new direction because now it's becoming more real. We're taking more and more steps towards that world that Masamune Shirow talked about in Ghost in the Shell. So I really am excited about this whole state of affairs with what's going on in the world right now. It's a very exciting time. And if you're a nerd like me, and if you created a ton of content, I literally have my wall spread out with like all the stories that I've written. If you're like me and you have so much content, but you've always wondered how you were going to get your content out to the masses and how people were going to react to you, I believe NFTs are going to be the way to do so, and how they correlate with Masamune Shirow's vision of the world. I think that's how people are going to get their content out in the future and get paid for it and get judged directly by the fans. The thing that was so brilliant about Masamune Shirow's Ghost in the Shell, when it came to just it as a classic piece of art, was the fact that he was telling us in the 80s, because you have to realize Ghost in the Shell, the manga, came out in, I believe, like 1988 or 1989. What was so brilliant about Masamune Shirow's vision of the world with Ghost of the Shell was that he went in depth with reality. He gave us a view of not just normal reality, but cyber reality. And that everything from the internet to using credits to purchase things, which would be now cryptocurrency. Fast forward some 4 decades. And now we have a lot of these things coming to light. We have platforms or games like Second Life, where they're virtual realities and people can go in and buy stuff and buy homes and have a second life. They can have a totally different experience than the real world. And with VR, it's becoming more and more real. People put on these goggles and they interact with a virtual world. It's not going to be long before the non-fungible tokens, the NFTs that we're purchasing and we're creating now, that those items will be staples in these other worlds. I saw something on another channel. Shout out to Earn Your Leisure. Shout out to you guys. Big ups to the interview in Egypt. They were talking to someone about the future of just the human species and how we're going to be exploring other spaces. And right now there's a race to explore outer space, but there's also a race to explore inner space, which would be the virtual space where people can create their own universes, people can create their own worlds. So one of the main reasons why I am so interested and so excited about getting into NFTs is because, besides being a big Masamune Shirow fan, you know, I have a couple of things that he's done, including Ghost in the Shell and Orion, and some other things that he did. I believe Appleseed was one of them too. Both mangas and anime. And because this man was so forward thinking with his view of what the world could be and would be, and this is one of the times where I believe art is going to imitate life, or art is going to predict life in the future, because the world that he predicted has been happening for a long time, and I think it just didn't happen as quickly, I believe, as he envisioned it. But stuff like the internet was already happening and going on when the original Ghost in the Shell came out. Stuff like NFTs and cryptocurrency already existed in his world. So years later, decades later, we're seeing his vision come to life. And like I said before, that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited about this space now, because it gives creators like myself the opportunity to go out there and just create and not have to worry about whether or not there's going to be a marketplace, or if we need some type of middleman or intermediary to handle our product. Our product now is totally within our own hands, and that's the main reason why I, as an artist, I as a creator, am so interested in these NFT marketplaces, because like I said, I have so much content, and I always wondered, how would I get this content out to the world? You know, I didn't want to sign a deal with like a comic book company and say, well, you know, as long as I work for you, anything I create is yours. I wanted to be able to create my own content, put it out to the world, have you guys out there love it or not love it, but you guys see it and at least experience it. And then, you know, I would come back and say, okay, well, these people loved it. These people are my fans. These people didn't love it. It's okay. That's fine. You know, bless them. And, you know, we go on, and I focus on my fans, and I focus on the people who love my content. Platforms like this one, like YouTube, have given us that in the form of creating videos and in creating documenting our own experiences and creating things, video information and video content on subjects that we love. You know, you get everything from cooking to martial arts to anime to traveling to doing doilies and crocheting, all types of things. YouTube is like anime. There's always something for someone. All they have to do is look. And I think this virtual space with NFTs is moving us into the future, and I want to be a part of that, both as a seller and a purchaser. I want to consume NFTs, but I also want to produce them as well. And I just ask that you guys join me for this journey, because I believe it's going to be an amazing journey, and I think we're going to have an amazing time. So right now I'm in the process. I'm doing my homework and I'm studying and I'm figuring out how to put my first NFTs up there. But for people who are fans of my game, who've played my game at PAX, who've read some of my work and you loved it, it's gonna be there. You know, we'll see how it works out a year from now. Anyway, that's the end of my rant. Until then, stay loving, stay peaceful, and stay blessed.